What's going on, guys? It is Sheeprampage here, and today we are back at you with another video talking about a brand new item being added into Rust at some point. During the last force wipe, a new item was added into the F1 menu called the Smart Alarm, and today I'll be talking about what it does and how it will affect the game. As always, if you guys enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Anyway, let's get right into the testing server. Okay, so here we are inside of our little server to test things out. Here's the Smart Alarm. It says send a notification to your phone when powered on. And you can find it in the F1 menu under electrical. Here it is right here, just this little radar looking thingy. You can click on it to give yourself one as long as you're in like a creative server or a server you have moderator on. Okay, so you can go over here and just place it like how you'd place anything. And it says edit message. Normally it says alarm, your base is under attack, but you can change this to whatever you want. Of course, we had to change it to, of course, they're trying to offline raid you. And of course, I tried hooking everything up, but as expected, since you can't make it, it doesn't work. Anyway, time to talk about this item. It seems like a very small item, just goes off, sends a notification to your phone. However, it is a huge item and is going to change the game so much, because a lot of the time you get raided whenever you're offline, so that way you can't defend. There's no way to defend anything, and you pretty much just let your base get destroyed while you're sleeping or doing other things. However, now with this new feature, you can literally find out at any time when someone is whatever, anytime somebody is near your base, anytime somebody's raiding your base. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but I'd imagine you can set it up to be however you want. And I feel like it's just going to completely take away offline raids. Not necessarily 100%, but I feel like it'll be a lot less common. When it comes to release date for this item, I have no clue because it just kind of randomly popped up. Just the Smart Alarm randomly appears in your F1 menu, and there's not really much more to say about it, just because there hasn't been an announcement. It's not like they've posted on Instagram or whatever, like how they already have for the cars that are coming out in July. Maybe it'll come out then. Maybe it'll come out a little bit earlier, like the June update, because the July update is going to be huge. I've already read a lot about it. There's going to be cars. There's going to be a ton of changes to minicopters and everything. And I feel like it'd be kind of weird to also throw in this amazing electric change. But of course, until some announcements come out, we will not know. And it could come out like never, literally, because the Rust app doesn't even exist yet. It's not something that you can just download and set up for the future. It might not ever come out because there hasn't been any announcements for it. And I could see this sitting here for years just kind of being useless. It happens all the time in games to where they just put things in for testing and they just don't end up working out, so this might get removed. However, I'd imagine the fact that they put it inside of the game instead of the staging branch would mean that it's probably going to be put into the game eventually. We just don't have any updates on it. And this Rust Plus app, I don't even know what it is, because as of right now it doesn't exist, but it could come out and this could end up costing money. Now, I don't think it will, but I could see it happening to where this is more of a DLC item and you have to buy this app off of the App Store in order to be able to use it. Now, this would be crazy because Rust would just, the community would go crazy. Not everyone's too happy about the whole truck situation and the helicopter situation. A lot of people like that old Rust where you just can't do any of that. And then adding a pay-to-win factor, I feel like they would lose a lot of players. But if they just keep it how it is now, I think the community, after all this uproar over the mixed decisions on do we like these trucks, do we not like the trucks, how do we balance the trucks to make them useful but at the same time not overpowered and or impossible to use in general, they are throwing this in and could definitely help revive the community, because a lot of people completely quit when they get offline raided. It's to a lot of people seen as just super disrespectful to go in and take somebody's base while they have no chance to defend it, and it's also just not fun coming in and taking somebody's loot and you not being able to do anything about it. Having minimal information about this, I can't really give too much of an opinion on it, but I definitely feel like this should not be an easy item to get, because taking away this whole offline raiding aspect, which is a whole side of the game, and making it super easy to do would just not really make much sense. I understand that having to have electricity in general is relatively difficult, but still feel like being able to know whenever somebody is at your base or whatever you set it up for would be absolutely crazy, because remember, you can set this up, you connect it to something. It's not just whenever you're being raided. You could set this up in so many different ways. And I'm not saying that's bad at all. I actually really like that, the ability to add creativity to something, just like how they did with the CCTV camera and everybody was making like trap bases and being able to watch over oil rig and stuff like that. I feel like it adds a super cool element to the game, but at the same time, if they make this too easy to use, I feel like, especially on the modded servers, it could almost completely ruin the game for some people, because the bigger people and the bigger players can come in and wipe out anybody just by knowing where they are, because they're getting notifications on their phone whenever or wherever they are. What I would say they should do in order to make this a viable thing would be maybe make it tier 3. I don't know if you should make it a tier 3 workbench, but tier 2 at the very least. Maybe even tier 3, so that way only higher level people can use it and not that many people have access to it. I would also make it to where you have to research it, make it not an automatic blueprint, and make it pretty hard to get. I feel like it should be something that you should get out of cargo, like the hackable crates and oil rig or elite crates, just to kind of give some difficulty to it and make it matter. Also, of course, make it pretty difficult to make. I would say a decent amount of high qual and metal frags, maybe even gears, because it kind of turns up and down. I'm not sure. But to see this come into the game would be one of the coolest things added into Rust, probably since like mini-copters, which of course is controversial to a lot of people. But I feel like everyone can agree that this would be cool and help stop the most toxic part about Rust, which would be offline raids, and also could be used for a lot of cool stuff, including things like trap bases. Imagine the super cool trap base videos to where somebody, instead of having to use like a CCTV, they would literally get a notification on their phone. They'd hear that noise and they know to like shut a door or something and trap people in, or have some sort of bait base to where people would go near it and then somebody would get alerted that, hey, there's somebody over there, and they would be able to open up a garage door that had a flamethrower or send out their friend to go and murder them. You know, I feel like it would just be really entertaining to make videos on. Anyway, guys, that is all that I have for this video. I had another video planned, however, I feel like this needed to be addressed because this force wipe did just happen, and people are kind of confused on what this weird item is. Hasn't been talked about too much, so I just wanted to talk about it and clarify that it's going to be something that is super huge to the game whenever it finally comes out and finally does work. Anyway, guys, like I said, if you enjoyed, please make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.